Alright, hello everyone. Guys, we're going to continue with 5.1. This will be our third part. It's really all we've covered this week. Third part of 5.1. Guys, we talked about your properties of exponents. That was on Tuesday. Yesterday we talked about degree of a polynomial. And today we're going to be talking about just some operations, some other operations you can do with polynomials. Specifically, we're talking about multiply, add, and subtract. Okay, I guess we're going to start with adding and subtracting, so maybe I should have listed that first. But we're going to multiply, add, and subtract polynomials. Okay. So this first one, guys, you've got a trinomial minus a trinomial. It's a subtraction problem. Typically, when I have a subtraction problem, I'll take the minus sign, kind of treat it as a -1, and then I'd use the distributive property to make that a -2x squared, a -3x, and then -1 times -1, that'd be a +1 there at the end. Okay, and so once you've distributed that negative, the first polynomial doesn't really change at all, and it's just a matter of combine like terms. So like terms, same exponent, same variable. So like 4x squared minus 2x squared would be 4 minus 2, that's 2x squared. And then we'd have -5x minus 3, -5 minus 3, that's -8x. And we would have 6 plus 1, that's a +7. And so we've subtracted those two polynomials, just combining like terms. Okay. And so for an addition problem, guys, it's as easy as getting rid of your parentheses, and it's so plus -4x, so that'd be -4x squared plus 9x minus 5. And it's, again, just combining like terms. So 6x squared minus 4x squared, that's 2x squared. -7x plus 9, -7 plus 9, that's +2x. 8 minus 5, a +3. So 2x squared plus 2x plus 3. Okay, so adding and subtracting, guys, as easy as combining like terms. All right, multiplying, there's a couple of ways to multiply. Guys, there's multiplying using the distributive property, which is just taking that term outside your parentheses and multiplying it into the parentheses. So it would be like 3x times 2x squared. Minus, then we'd have 3x times 4x, and then plus 3x times 6. Guys, I know that's not a habit. We don't typically write them out with the 3x times everything, but that's what the distributive property is. So I wanted to show you guys that. So 3 times 2, this is what we typically do. We just do 3 times 2, that's 6x times x squared, x to the third. Minus 3 times 4 is 12, x times x, x squared. And then last we have plus 3 times 6, 18, x. Okay, and so that's multiplying using the distributive property. Guys, notice the exponents change when we multiply terms, okay? In adding and subtracting, the terms stay the same, the variables stay the same. Here they do not. All right, that previous problem, that was a monomial, a single term, times a polynomial, or a trinomial. And then there's multiplying polynomials. So, guys, here we have two polynomials. We have a trinomial times a binomial. Okay? And just as an example, guys, this is a lot like the FOIL method. If you guys think of FOIL, that's how we show you guys how to multiply a binomial times a binomial. First, outer, inner, last. It's the same idea. You're making sure making sure x multiplies by both in the other term, and 2 multiplies by both in the other term. So guys, the same idea here. We're going to make sure this n, it gets multiplied by every term in the first polynomial. So n times n squared would be n cubed, plus n times 4n, that would be 4n squared, minus n times 6, minus 6n. And then you're going to take, let me get a little color here, you're going to take 2 and multiply it by n squared. So it's going to be plus 2n squared. That would be 2 times 4n plus 8n. And then it's going to be 2 times negative 6, so minus 12. Okay? Guys, from there, after you do the multiplication step, now you need to combine like terms. Simplify. So if there typically is like terms, so we got n cubed, no like terms there. 4n squared plus 2n squared plus 6n squared, negative 6n plus 8n, so it'll be plus 2n, and then we get a minus 12. Okay. Very similar to foiling, guys. That's why I like to show you, remind you of foiling before we do that. All right. And so this last problem here, we're going to take 3x multiplied by 2x squared. 3 times 2, 6. X to the third. 3x times negative 4 be negative 12x squared. And 3x times 5, 15x. Multiply the negative 1 by each term. It'd be negative 2x squared plus 4x, and then minus 5. Last, combining your like terms, 6x cubed, negative 14x squared, plus 19x, and then minus 5. Okay. Guys, your homework, ignore this top stuff, and I'm posting it on Canvas, but your homework here should be 9 through 14. So subtraction and adding, and then some multiplication. All right. Guys, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful afternoon.